I thought the guys tonight, they came out with great energy. I thought they executed, and back and forth, I thought they executed for the most part well. I thought the special team segments, which were not live, were really good. And there's some guys that stood out. Avery Williams today had 2 turnovers and a turnover for a touchdown. Ced Wilson had maybe the most spectacular catch I've ever seen. It was phenomenal. And I thought the defense was flying around and tackling the way that we want to. So some positives there, and then in the big scheme of it all, you look at it and there's a ton of things that we got to work on.
Can you describe this one of the most spectacular catches you've ever seen? What did he do?
Well, yeah, it's hard to describe. That's one. It was a little fade ball, and it was back, kind of a back shoulder ball, and went up, and he elevated. I don't know how high. He elevated, and it was one of those kind of behind the back, behind the head, stuck in the palm, and defenders kind of got his legs out from underneath him and comes down with the foot in bounds and with the ball in his hands. It was everybody out there, defense, didn't matter who you were, all right, whatever family members are in there, I mean, they dropped whatever they had in their hands, and it was, it was a great play. And, Ced's been a guy that continues to practice well and get better each and every practice, and then goes out there and, time the offense needs to make a play, he makes a play, and it's a spectacular play.
That was one-handed?
It was one-handed.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one-handed there.
What,
I'm excited to go back. They better not have missed that on film.
You got enough cameras, somebody probably.
Yeah, we better have that. Maybe we'll blow that one out. That was worth it. It was worth seeing.
He really.
Avery got a couple turnovers tonight and has been making some plays. What's enabled him to be kind of a playmaker on that defensive side?
He's been doing that. Yeah, I think what enables him to do that is just his motor. Simple as that. He's got a motor. He's always going. He's always going to practice. He's always going out there in any type of scrimmage or competitive situation. And no different tonight. The one thing, as a defender, all right, you kind of gauge on defense, all right, how well a player is on that side of the ball by how close he is to it. All right, wherever that ball is. And he's always around the ball. And so tip ball, there was a tip ball, and tip balls or pick balls. He was around that. So tip ball, ball's up in the air, boom, he's around the ball. There's a tackle, kind of a low tackle, offensive guy's going down, ball slips out, might have hit the ground, don't know, but ball pops out, he's right there, scoops, and he's out, he's running. And it's just that immediacy too of what to do with it. The ball's there, and they work it all the time on defense. He picked it up and he is gone, and no one's going to catch him, and he's out the gate.
Who else has impressed you through camp so far?
Well, on the offensive side, Ryan Wolpen, we talked about him, and Drake Beasley. I think he was an interesting one. He came in a little bit lighter than we wanted. I think he was 190, then he came in around 180-ish there, and so obviously we got to build him. He plays that position, but the one thing you didn't quite know, because he didn't play last year, he's very instinctual. Even tonight when you watch him run, he can slither his way through there, and he made some really good runs. Octavius Evans is a guy, Cartrell Thomas, both those guys I think have had good camps so far on the offensive side. O-line, Ezra Cleveland, I felt good about him. Garrett Larson's had a really good camp on the O-line. Defensively, Tyson and Leighton, both those guys are playing really well. They understand their assignments. David Moa continues. It's good to have Jabril back. Jabril was making plays tonight. He's a major force on the edge there, and so to have him back out there, and the quarterbacks weren't live, but he was all over him and making plays, creating issues for the quarterbacks. And I like the back end. DeAndre Pierce has really stood out. I think he's had a great camp. He's been, as far as his assignment wise, I think he's been very good each and every practice, and then just physically, when we've had some opportunities to go out there and let the defense cut loose a little bit, he's really shown up on the defensive side. And really the back end, I think Coach Ambrose and Coach Franklin are doing a good job back there. Special teams wise, we talked about Joel and the kickers. And then Nick Pittman, he snapped the ball well, and Brock Barr. Those two guys that are snapping for us, I think they've been pretty good.